Shemai everyone, how are you all? I'm delighted to be here today with this gorgeous cut file from Pretty My Page. I was so honoured to be asked to fill one of the design slots for Pretty My Page, and Lisa Jane asked me to choose whichever one took my fancy, and I've loved this globe one. So I'm going to have a little play around with it. I've actually prepared this already. I cut it, and then before I took it off my silhouette mat, I covered it in gesso because I'm going to add a bit of mixed media to it. My tip to you is make sure it is completely and utterly dry, because if you get as impatient as I do, you might rip your cardstock. So this is nothing to do with the cut file. This is my impatience. It cuts absolutely beautifully, and I can't wait to try it out. I really want to use this piece of paper, but because I love the sentiment on it, but it's quite hard when I cut this out on white. I didn't feel it showed up enough, so I've actually used my silhouette and I've created an offset of the globe, and when it layers up, then it gives a bit more of a 3D effect, and I like that. So that's what I'm going to go with. And I love, look at this down here, a moment to explore. And let's go where the Wi-Fi is weak and the sun is strong. Perfect sentiments for our summer holiday. So I'm using some items from a past hip kit. And as you can see, I don't have an awful lot of it left. But because of how stunning this is going to take centre stage. So I don't need to rely too much on pattern paper and embellishments. And I'm going to let this and my photos do the talking. So first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to clear my desk a bit because I'm a little bit messy with mixed media. And I'm going to add a little bit of colour to my cut file. I'm just going to bring in a piece of paper. And I'm actually using Heidi Swap, and it's patina. And I have given it a really good long shake just to mix everything up. You can usually tell when it's all mixed up when this is, if it's not, you'll sort of see all the glitteriness of it has stayed at the bottom. You want that mixing around. And I've got a little tiny piece of acetate here. Now, I'll be honest with you, I tend to spray this everywhere, so I'm going to try and use my hand to control it slightly. I'm going for the green because I want to use this globe paper to back my offset of the globe, and as you can see, it just about fits. So I'm going to bring in my little bit of acetate, and I'm going to try and get the land. Now I know that I'll get more than the land. But because I've used the gesso on it, I should be able to move my tool caddy too far away. Just going to fill this in then. I don't always have an awful lot of success with the packaging technique, so I thought I'd use a bit of acetate, but I don't seem to have an awful lot of success with that tonight either. Perhaps I should have added a bit more water to it. So I'm just going to add some more on. I just love this globe. I would like to do more travel pages, but when you look at embellishments for travel pages, they're often aeroplanes, and my husband and I don't fly. Well, I would fly, but my husband isn't keen at all, and we love cruising. So at least with this lovely cut file here, you're not limited to the sort of holidays you go on, because you could be anywhere in the world. I'm going to try and cover, I don't want it all over this part here. So with cut files, you can back them with pattern paper, you can cut them to whatever size you'd like. I think that's the beauty of them then. You don't have to stick with how they're exactly shown. You can make them smaller, you can make them bigger. As I say, you can then create a little bit of an offset like I have, just to sort of lift them off the page a little bit more. I'm going to set this aside now to dry. It is a bit blotchy, but I like that effect, luckily enough. So I'm going to put that up on the side, and I'm going to back my offset piece. Just going to throw that in the bin. And the way I tend to do it is I turn this over, and because I love this part as well. What a wonderful world, it's full of beauty and charm. This is actually a Pink Studio piece of paper. Pink Fresh Studio, sorry. So, I'm being really daft tonight. You can tell it's quite late on a Friday actually. And it's been one of those weeks in work. Let's get a pencil now. Or a pen. If you're anything like me, you can never ever find a pencil when you need one. I'm just going around the outside roughly. I'm not worried about it coming in here. There we go. So this should be quite easy. The scissors would be handy. Just going to put that to one side. There we are. I do like to add an offset to certain designs, just to lift them, especially if there's a piece of pattern paper that you like that's a little bit busy. At least then you can lift it off the page a little bit more. So I'm using a Silhouette Cameo to cut mine out, and I've actually got the business edition of the design store. There we go. So I'm going to do now, just going to cut that little bit down here. As you can see, I'm not being really precise because lots of it is quite thick. Now, as you can see, I'm trying to use up my Tombos because I've just got hundreds of them started. So I'm trying to use them up. I forgot which way around the world was then. There we go. As you can see, it's been a very, very long week with my new little starters in nursery. Hence a very croaky voice. I've been singing all my nursery rhymes. I just sing constantly actually in class. You're probably imagining someone a little bit like Doris Day. It's not quite that professional. There we are. So I'm just going to add some glue now, and I'm going to be positioning this on the back here. Just turn it over and make sure everything is covered. I'm just going to trim on that side now because I can see this little bit is poking out. There we go. Oh, a little bit down here. And the other nice thing about cut files is you can print them in whatever colour you fancy. Also, Lisa Jane sells ready cut files, which is perfect for people who haven't got their own die cutting machine, because not everyone uses them that often. I use mine a lot, so mine was an investment. Well, it was a Christmas present, sorry. So that's the paper I'm going to use as a background, and as I say, it is quite busy. So by giving my die cut a little bit of an offset, it has sort of lifted it off the page slightly. So I'm just going to get rid of the branding strip, and it's Maggie Holmes Sunny Days by Crate Paper. I still haven't oiled my trimmer, as you can tell. There we go. And at least by scrapping summer holidays, it keeps it fresh in my memory, because as we'll be going into the dark days soon, when I'm going to work in the dark and coming home in the dark, that's got to be the most miserable time of the year. So my globe is going to go here. So I've got these two lovely sayings either side of it, and see if my mixed media piece is dry yet. There it is. I'll bring this in. my photos then, I printed really, really small. And because I wanted them to sort of fit in these little squares. Just take that off there. So here they come. They're just going in like this. I'm going to raise them up there on foam dots. And here, and then all of my husband and I on our summer holidays this year. And they're the only photos I'm going to use. And then I've got some little sayings here. Look on the bright side, and some little sunglasses. Life is great when we are together. Some hearts, a camera piece, just some little flowers, and some more hearts. And the title I'm going for is Summer, and then I'm going to use this vacation. Now I don't usually use the word vacation, as in UK we tend to say holidays. I also like this let go, so I might try and put that up on the land somewhere. So what I'm going to do now is stick this down. There we are. I'm just going to bring in my pad again, because otherwise I'll cover my desk with glue. There we go. Excuse me, coughing. Must be dusty in my craft room tonight. So they say Lisa Jane has some lovely, lovely designs. When she said choose which ones you like, I must be honest, I was thinking, oh, I could use that one. Oh, that's a nice one. Oh, I love that one. So it's quite hard to choose. And as I say, because she sells pre-cut ones as well, that's even better for you. But this would be lovely as well if you want to do a little mini album. And you could cut then a globe for each page, or the globe could actually make up your mini album. As you can see, my paint's a little bit wet. We won't let that stop us. And then I'm just positioning it. There we go. Just going to bring in a piece of paper now just to press down, so I'm not getting my gluey hands all over it, which is what I usually do. There it is. You're trying to rub the glue off all the time. So there is my cut file. There it is backed. I'm not too worried about some of the lines standing up, because when I stick my other embellishments on, it'll bring it down. So that's what my globe looks like. And can you see the paper I backed it with is also covered in little spheres, which obviously reminds me of the globe anyway. So I'm going to bring my little photos in now. For some reason I left a little white edge on this one, so I'm just going to trim that down. I was going to print out on my selfie, but I didn't want to waste my ink, because I'm hoping to take my selfie away with me when I go on my scrapbooking weekend. I didn't want to buy more ink before then. So here we go. Bring in my photos. And I'm going to bring in some foam pads. So I'm going to raise them up then. So this one is going in the biggest place. Obviously you could, if you wanted to, put things underneath the globe. It would also be really effective. I could have backed each little square with a different colour pattern paper. I love doing that on cut files as well. There we are. But I just think there are so many uses for this globe one. It's quite funny because my husband and I, there's a bit of a standing joke. The degree I did actually had geography in it, but you wouldn't know it with my knowledge of the globe, countries, capitals, directions. Because my husband says to me, oh, I think we're going in a northwesterly direction. Yeah, and how on earth is anyone supposed to know that? And he'll say things like, well, you did a geography degree. So yeah, I learned about longshore drift on the beaches. I didn't learn about countries. So there we go. The fiddliest part is taking these backs off, but I didn't want to waste some of my foam on little tiny photos, otherwise these ones are ideal for it. It's just I've got no nails. So there are my photos, and as I say, because the cut file is so eye-catching, I want that actually to be the centerpiece of my page. And then just for the photos then, because we were all these photos were taken in different places. So then I'm going to bring these in, look on the bright side, and I want to put that one actually on top of these little sunglasses. I'm going to glue the sunglasses down, and then I'm going to put that little sentiment on top, a little title. There we go. Look on the bright side. And then bring this one in across here, and I'm going to put that up on foam pads just to keep adding different dimensions to it all, just to make it more interesting then to look at. And I've got a little heart that I'm going to put by that one. I use cut files a lot actually in my pages, because they are a great way to embellish your page and to add a little bit of extra to it. There we go. Then I've just got these little tiny word strips here. I'm going to add to the side of my photos. My glue does not want to work tonight. And it will dry clear, thank goodness, as I seem to have added too much to it. I love these little word strips. There we are. And more fingers and thumb tonight. And so the one says together, the other one says happy, and this one says fun. And then I would just like to say they were actually mocktails we were drinking. So they were non-alcoholic, because I'm not a drinker. If I'd been drinking proper cocktails in the day, I wouldn't have made it out for dinner in the night. And then I think I might leave that one off for now, and I'm going to bring in my summer holidays one. What should I? Look at me having a conversation with myself, sorry. Yeah, I think I might bring it in because of the fact that I tore that in my impatience. Trust me. Do you know, looking at this would be a lovely page just without a piece of paper behind it. I just love this cut file. It would make a page, as I say, on its own without anything added to it. So now I'm going to cut this off just so I can see that it fits where I want it to go. Just about. What I might do now, if I bring my piece of paper back in, and then at least if it pokes off the page, that's absolutely fine. I was going to add foam pads to it, but for the sake of getting it into my album, I think I'll glue it. Because even though I always use ring bound albums now, because the post bound ones there's just not enough space in them for me for thick pages. But even then, some of my ring bound ones are looking a little bit too fat. There it is. There's my page so far. So I'm just going to add my title to it now. And then at least if it goes off the bottom of the page, that's fine because it's actually resting on my paper. There it is. And at least with this pop of pink and this one, I'm bringing in my third pop of pink. Just going to go here. Summer vacation. And then, because I've got 3 pieces of green, I'm going to bring this one in as well, saying summertime. There it is. And I think I'm going to call it a day. I must be honest, I didn't think I'd ever use this piece of paper as a whole piece. But I think these ones in particular have really sort of added to the page. And the fact that it all looks like little postcards and little holiday photos. So there we go. So if you're looking for something to add to your holiday album, please take a look on Pretty My Page. As I say, this globe cut file is absolutely fantastic to work with, and as I say, if you want to add an offset then to it, it's easy to do. What I'm going to do now, I'm going to stop filming my layout, and I'm just going to show you on my machine what the offset button looks for your silhouette. I'll see you in a second. So here is the design on my screen. This is the original die cut, which are so easy to pull into your Silhouette Studio. I had it in an email, so I went into the drop down box, into file, and said open, and then dragged it in from there then. So here is the original one. So to create an offset, you need to choose, you see the star here, and you're choosing the offset rather than the internal one. I haven't selected it, which is why it's not coming in. I hope the glare from my lights aren't too bad. So you click on offset, and can you see then it gives you this one here. So if you click on it, you can drag the top one out the way like that. Now this is giving you an offset of the entire part. I cleaned mine up slightly. This is mine here, so if you can see there, I'll line it up. I've got rid of all those little tiny pieces. So to do that, you're going to double click and then right click with your mouse. So if I look at this one here, can you see that delete point? You can then delete all the small pieces. Delete point. It's slightly time consuming, but what it doesn't cut all those little tiny bits then. So it just sort of cleans up your offset image. So then I did all that, and I'll just move this one out of my way now. So this is the one then I was left with. And then, as you can see, I've cleared off all the little pieces. And then that's how you create an offset in Silhouette Studio. So you go to little star here, as I say. Make sure your image is selected, so you can draw a box around it, and that has selected that image for you. Come into here. So you can either have an internal offset, which will give you a thinner image, or an external one, which gives you that then. As you can see now, I've got hundreds of them. I've also made a slight change. Ignore the awful mess on my desk. I've just added a little bit of extra to my page. I added sun and shine here, and then just some Nuvo drops to finish the page off. Once again, thank you so much for joining me. Huge thanks to Lisa Jane for offering me the chance to have a design slot for putting my page. Now get yourselves over there and download some of those gorgeous cut files. I shall see you soon. Thank you. Hwyl fawr. Bye.